Hey, how's it going, everybody? Gabriel, Santiago here. So this is the Speaking of Harmony podcast episode 50. Wow, wouldn't think I would say this number, 50. Thank you so much for the support. Wow, 50 episodes already. Since it seems like it was yesterday when I started. Thank you so much for the support and for in the comments and the feedback in this podcast. I really like and enjoy doing that. Before we kind of finish off this mini series of non-harmonic tones, before we go into that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Activate the little bell notifications. This is all my social media stuff. Don't forget to hit the like button. It helps a lot with the video. And also don't forget to sign up for the mailing list. Information is here in the video description. All right. See the stuff I was playing in the beginning. It has pretty much featured two non-harmonic tones. Those are the ones that I picked to talk about today. And those are kind of the main ones that kind of close out this series of non-harmonic tones that I mostly use. Right? There are others, and people name them different things, but those are the main ones that I use. And the ones that we're gonna talk about today are anticipation and retardation. Those are the names that we give them here. Let's talk about them, right? Let's figure out what they are. I mean, they're kind of like self-explained, I guess, in the names, right? But let's see in practical terms what they do. So when you talk about an anticipation, we are basically talking about a non-harmonic tone that belongs to the next chord that you're going to play in a progression, but you anticipate that note back into the chord that precedes them. Right? So let's say if you're going to, you're in A minor, and then you go into D minor, right? So if, let's say you go, let's just try it, for instance, for now. So F, let's say F. F is the third of D minor, right? So F is not in the A minor triad. So if I do something like this, so what am I doing here? I'm anticipating the note F, right, into the A minor. So I'm bringing that note early, then you supposedly hear it in D minor, right, which is here over A in this case, right? So I'm bringing that before, so I'm anticipating, right? So, right? I can do that, for instance, with the note D, as in this context too. So you have A minor, then you go into D minor. So the note D, I can bring it early, is still when I'm still in the chord of A minor. So you see, it's pretty simple and it's pretty commonly actually used. So you do that all the time already, right? Now you just have the name for it, right? So you're just anticipating that note, right? And that's what an anticipation is, basically, right? In this case, I'm doing like a double anticipation because I'm anticipating the chord. Again, we go to that concept of using the non-harmonic tones and expanding to the chord. So in this case, I'm going to anticipate the full chord of D minor early into A minor. So instead of doing, so I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, right? So 1, the next bar is when you're supposed to play D minor, and I'm anticipating it to play before we get to the D minor, still in A minor territory. So, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You see, I anticipated the chord. So that's pretty common, and you all heard that before, right? So any kind of, rhythmic, groovy kind of situation, scenario that you find yourself in, you're probably going to use anticipations all the time. Brazilian music, it's all the way, all the time. That's what I was kind of playing, right? So I was doing this. So I'm anticipating the notes from the chord at the time and mixing up with other stuff too, but I'm exploring that idea of anticipation, right? So bringing a note from the chord that you're supposed to play next and anticipate and bring that in before you hit that chord. So you anticipate the note, right? That's what anticipation is. Sorry. The opposite would be we call the retardation, right? The retardation is the opposite. It's a note from the chord that is being delayed in its resolution, and delayed enough that it surpasses the bar and breach into the next bar, being a non-harmonic tone in the next bar, right? So in the next bar, that note that I'm doing the retardation, that I'm delaying, doesn't belong to the next chord, and then it's going to be actually resolved into a note from the chord, right? So going back to the anticipation, we are bringing that note from a chord that I'm playing after, but I'm bringing that before. I'm anticipating it. So thus that note will become a non-harmonic tone, a note not from the chord in the previous chord, right? And then I am resolving that note. I mean, the note is going to become a note from the chord in the next bar. And the retardation is you're playing a note from the chord already, but you're just delaying its resolution, right? Into the next bar, and that note will become a non-harmonic tone, a note from that doesn't belong to the chord, and then you resolve it, right? So I'm gonna use the same example here, the A minor, D minor kind of thing, to show the retardation. So here, let's say, so let's pick C, right? I'm supposed to go to D, right? But I am delay that C until we reach the D minor territory, and then I resolve later. So I'm gonna do, instead of doing, here we go. See? See, I sustained and I delayed the C until we breach into the next bar, and then I resolved it. Right? So I can do that with, let's say, another note here, right? Let's do that with E from A minor. Then I'm supposed to resolve into F, like the third of D, and I will delay it until we reach the D minor, and then I resolve the F already in the bar. So there we go. See the resolution? I delayed E until it could be resolved up on this case, right? Can do up or down. Okay, you got the idea. It's also pretty common, commonly used, pretty common. But one could pose a question that it always comes up. Well, what's the difference between a retardation to the appoggiatura, for instance? Because the appoggiatura has a similar concept where the note that you attack, the non-harmonic tone, is also on the strong beat, and as will be the retardation as well, right? Because if I'm doing right, I'm gonna attack that at E note and then resolve each note from the chord. It's like, what's the difference between this to the appoggiatura, which supposedly is the same thing, right? A note not from the chord, attacked in the downbeat and resolve into a note from the chord. One could pose that question, and here's the answer. The difference is that between the retardation and the appoggiatura is that the retardation is carried from the chord before. That's the difference, right? The appoggiatura, that note that attacks on the downbeat, has no bounds to notes previously played. You can play a completely different note. So I can do, let's say, see? I'm doing. I just played that E without attacking it before. I wasn't playing E before. I wasn't doing this. You see the difference here? note E was part of what was being played before. And whereas the appoggiatura one, that note has no binding to the other chord that came before. So it just attacked at will on the downbeat and resolve. That's the main difference, that sometimes people get a little confused between appoggiatura and retardation, right? Another thing worth saying is that there is a little variation on this thing we call retardation, which is what we call, I don't know the name in English, I guess I'll just guess in Portuguese, directly translating something like the articulate retardation. That's in Portuguese, retardo articulado. If you guys know that particular one, please help me in the comments. I don't know the name in English. I'll probably translate straight from Portuguese, so I don't know if it makes sense. The articulate retardation. What is the articulate retardation? Is when the retardation is articulated, meaning not tied, because you see that anticipation and retardation, one trait of them is that they're always tied, right? There's always a tie connecting the notes, right? So you go here. If I do the E as an example, like, see, I attack the note still while on the bar before, then carry through the chord and then resolve the bar. Attack the note again, resolving it. So I did. Right? That's the retardation. But if I want to do the articulate version, I won't do the tie. I'll play a note on the first chord and then the same note on the next chord. So that's the same note. So either if I tie or not, it's still a retardation, right? Because that note's been articulated before, as opposed to the appoggiatura we talked. So you see? So the difference is just the tie, right? Right? I just then not tied the note and attacked on both chords. You see the difference? That's what we would call the articulate retardation that you can do, right? So let's take, for instance, here's an example of anticipating the F here, going from A minor, A7 with the turn the bass, right? A minor, turn the bass, then A7 or A major, turn the bass, then going to D minor. That E note belongs to A, and I'm bringing F from D minor early, so, and then attacking, right? So that's an anticipation, right? Right? And then I can do a whole sequence, that famous sequence, right? I can do a bunch of retardations and anticipations here, so I can go. Ooh, you see? Then retardation. We delay the resolution of C to B, right? Resolve retardation of F, then resolve into C, right? Or C major chord and then E note. Retardation of B, resolve into A, right? Retardation of E into D. Same thing, 4 resolve into the third, then a full articulate retardation, right? Because I'm articulating the chord before. Then resolve. You see? So this is cool. You can do it, almost get you in a, kind of like a polyphonic zone kind of thing, right? When you explore this notes that stay, that get anticipated. You start getting a polyphonic sense, which is great, a texture. And voice leading as well, as you can see here. Hashtag voice leading. That's what I was doing in the beginning. I was just doing like a samba thing. So I was doing... mixing appoggiaturas with retardations and anticipations, like both, because in this case their note hasn't been articulated anywhere, right? But if I had, then it would be an anticipation, right? So if I could do this like, see, then I'm delaying the resolution, articulating the note, so then it's a retardation. But if I haven't played that, as I didn't do in the beginning, now is articulated, right? If I just do right? Anticipation, retardation, and appoggiatura. So they're kind of close cousins in a way, right? But they're different. You saw the difference here. So and then a lot of retardation, but a lot of stuff you can do with that. So this is what I would like to share today, and I hope you liked it. Let me know if you have used those before. I'm sure you have. We use those all the time, basically. You know, it's the non-harmonic terms that we mostly use actually without, noticing that we actually using that. Let me know in the comments what you think, and which one is your favorite non-harmonic tones, right? I think I said which one is mine already. And I hope you enjoyed the episode. And before I go, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, activate the little bell, the notifications. This is all my social media stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to the mailing list. And I will see you very soon. Thank you very much.